Hello YouTube, Dave here again. I want to do a follow-up video to the stream of Annihilation which happened this past weekend. I was hoping to have this video out a couple of days ago, but there's been basically some changes, temporary, but there have been some changes in our personal lives. We currently have a house guest staying with us who's been off the last couple of days. So it's been difficult for me to record because I generally like to be alone when I record these videos. A lot of it has to do with, still being kind of self-conscious about things, but it's just I find it easier to relax and do these when I'm on my own. So I apologize that it's currently the middle of the week, but I want to talk about the announcements, some of the things that have been announced during that stream of Annihilation. Before I do that though, if you guys actually had the chance to watch the whole thing, what did you guys think? I missed a lot of it. Pretty much all of Saturday we were gone. We went out for breakfast, went around, did some shopping stuff. And I also ran one of my D&D campaigns. Excuse me. So I missed pretty much all of Saturday. I caught bits and pieces of the Friday stream. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about my opinions on that later on in the video. But I kind of want to dive into the actual announcements that have been made. Now, as kind of a funny side note, this video has been painful to record. I don't know why today of all days some of these things have happened, but during the recordings, there's been loud noise of people like the building maintenance crew cleaning the hallways outside of the apartment. I was about 12 or 13 minutes into a take recording this, and I try to do this one all in one take. And a band of marching soldiers went up the street that we live on, which is kind of like a side street, away from things, but they went up marching with a set of bagpipes. So that kind of killed that take. And my fiance called. She never calls during the day. She called when I was trying the take before this one. So I'm hoping that this is the one. So let's talk about the products that were announced during the stream of Annihilation. And there's no better place to start than with the storyline announcement of the next big adventure, the Tomb of Annihilation. So the Tomb of Annihilation is a campaign that takes place in the jungle region of Chult, just a peninsula in the southern part of the continent of Faerun. It was brought to my attention when I did my prediction video for what the Stream of Annihilation may hold, that that there was some concept art that had like this marketplace with dinosaurs, like people riding a T-Rex and stuff like that. Instantly I had gotten my hopes up for Eberron, because I know that like riding dinosaurs is actually a common thing in the Eberron campaign setting and had been since its inception. I also thought perhaps maybe the Isle of Dread in Greyhawk, since the original Tomb of Annihilation, or Tomb of Horrors, was in Greyhawk, and this campaign involves the Lich Accessory and his plans. So, as it is, it's another Forgotten Realms campaign. I'm hoping that this one's going to be modular enough, though, and it seems like it may be, that you could easily place it in other campaign worlds. Dragonlance may be difficult, but it should be, hopefully modular enough for that. The storyline involves this magical affliction known or referred to as a death curse. And what it does is it affects people who have been raised through magical means. And anyone who's been magically resurrected starts to grow like thinner and weaker before finally dying once again. And this time, if they die the second time from this affliction, they can't be raised. And it appears that resurrection magic is just simply failing in the world of Faerun or Toril. The idea behind it, or what's happening behind it, is an artifact known as the Soulmonger, which is located in Chult. The artifact looks like it's been created by Accessory, the Lich who created the original Tomb of Horrors. Now this is called the Tomb of Annihilation. Something tells me it's going to also feature a Tomb of Horrors-esque dungeon, which the Soulmonger artifact is probably going to be kept in. My understanding is that this campaign is meant to be sort of more of a sandbox, where the player characters can explore at their leisure before getting to the ultimate conclusion of the story. And we'll see sort of how that goes. That said, so this book releases September 19th, retails for $49.95 US. and of course where I live in Canada, $65.95 Canadian. So I'm looking forward to this. I think the idea behind the story is really actually pretty cool. I don't mind that Accessory is the villain. He is an iconic lich from the Dungeons & Dragons worlds. Again, it's kind of plunking him into the Forgotten Realms where he never really existed before. But again, I'm thinking that this is going to be modular enough that it can be easily put into other settings. The thing that does bother me probably the most, however, is this here. It's an adventure for levels 1 through 11. And the reason that it bothered me is when I discussed the announcement, after it was announced, I did a quick video on it. And what I was really hoping for was some high-level play. 5th edition D&D, all of their campaigns have taken place from 1st to no more than 15th level. And I feel like there needs to be something official that supports characters from 15th to 20th. I was thinking in my head that where this, is the Lich Accessory who created the Tomb of Horrors, one of the most infamously deadly dungeons in all of D&D's history, and knowing that the story, when I found out the story involves this death curse that is affecting anybody that's been magically resurrected, I was really hoping that this was going to be a campaign of levels like 10 through 20, or like 12 through 20. I was hoping that it would go at least above 15th level. So the fact that this Lich, this very powerful and ancient Lich, is going to be the main villain of a campaign that goes for levels 1 through 11, I think is a little bit disappointing. And I think that Accessory probably could have had a more worthy player characters, more higher level characters, and something again that would have supported that higher level play. So that aside, I'm still looking really forward to this. I can't wait to get my hands on it and read through it because again, the story itself sounds really, really cool. Worst case, I work it out myself to make it for higher level characters. But that's coming out September 19th, so that's just a few months away. However, that wasn't the only thing that was announced. Wizards of the Coast has also announced some accessories that are going to be released as well. So let's start off with the first accessory that they mentioned, the D&D Tomb of Annihilation dice. Now this also releases on September 19th, so this comes out the same day as the campaign itself. What it is, it's a set of jungle-themed dice in a collector's tin. And that's pretty much it. It's a 10-die set. So it's got the 4d6, the percentile dice, the standard kind of dice set. Retails for $19.95 US and $25.95 Canadian, so a little expensive for people north of the US border. But this is something that I'm really looking forward to. I mean, when I did my video, what I want, or what I'd like to see Wizards of the Coast do for 2017, an official set of dice was one of those things. Now, I was hoping for just a generic one, so that it would be something that would be easily available throughout 5th edition's run, that they could just keep producing, with the Tomb of Annihilation dice being in this collector's tin. Something tells me it's going to be probably not necessarily a limited release, but I don't know how long they would continue to manufacture them. So I'm hoping that these are going to be relatively easy to come by. Now looking at the picture here, the only thing that kind of bothers me is the D20 looks to stand out from all the other dice. Now I suspect that these dice here are simply placeholder because they're just flat green dice and that's not very interesting. The D20 actually looks like it may have some sort of patterning to it, like maybe like a green and a yellow or something that makes it feel more jungle-ish than just these flat green dice. So I'm hoping that when the final set comes out that they all look the same, because I think that my OCD when it comes to dice would really bother me with a different color D20. Now just a sort of aside, or I don't want to say complaint or nitpick, but I guess it's sort of a complaint or nitpick. This would have been a perfect opportunity for Wizards of the Coast to release a set of dice that had a second D20 for advantage or disadvantage. I thought it would have been really cool for them to have done that so you could roll both dice at the same time. And somebody had suggested that in one of my videos, actually, as a comment. And I thought it was such a great suggestion that I was hoping that Wizards of the Coast would have done that. Unfortunately, they're not. It's just the 1d20. But at least we have like the percentile dice and stuff like that. And it is an official set of dice from Wizards of the Coast for the D&D game. So that is pretty awesome, and I can't wait to get that. Now again, that's not the only thing that's been announced as far as accessories go. We have another accessory coming out also on September 19th. and that is the Dungeon Master screen reincarnated. I don't know a lot about this actually. I missed the announcement video on it, but it looks like what it is, it's going to be a whole new DM screen. I suspect it's probably going to have more combat-oriented charts on it. Like the original DM screen, I think half of it almost was taken up by information on making NPCs, like their motivations, backgrounds, flaws, random name generators, and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that the new chart will probably exclude that, or have very little of that. And we'll have things like maybe even like weapon charts, armor charts, charts for attacking objects, just things along those lines. I think it's going to be more oriented towards combat situations. The artwork looks like it's going to have this red dragon stretch across the front landscape panels with the chart stuff on the back. So this comes out again September 19th. Going to be a very busy day. $14.95 US, $19.95 Canadian. So that's that for September. So let's talk about October, because we're having something come out in October as well. Something that I didn't think Wizards of the Coast would ever do, and I honestly didn't realize that I wanted until I saw the announcement. And that is the D&D Adventure Grid. So what this is, it's a double-sided vinyl playmat that you can use either wet erase or dry erase markers on. And unlike a lot of the ones that I've seen in the past, which are just kind of like this tan vinyl with a grid on it, this actually has some design to it. So one side of this is going to have like a dungeon kind of stone look to it, which is awesome. And the other side is going to be like a wilderness theme. So it's got like a little bit of green on it, looks like kind of like a field, which is really awesome. I mean, I've run combat using the tiles before, like the dungeon tiles and the wilderness tiles, and it's a lot of setup. So if I can get just a grid that I can draw the stuff on that still looks like wilderness and dungeon, then that is just, you know, like I said, really awesome, really cool, and I can't wait for this to come out. I'm actually super excited for this product. So this comes out on October 17th, $24.95 US and $33.95 Canadian. It's kind of pricey. I'm hoping that it is a decent size. I'm hoping it's about the same size as most standard play mats, but I'll see, you know, when it finally comes out and how large it is. It doesn't list the dimensions here, but it just looks super awesome, and it looks like the packaging that is contained inside, it looks like it has a cover almost the size of a book. So I'm hoping that again, when it's folded up, is a really good size. So that's that. The last thing I want to talk about as far as the books go is our supplement. So we've had the adventures. This is our annual November supplement, Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And what this is I think it's the supplement book that everybody's been looking for. Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. I think a lot of people were disappointed in due to the lack of options that it presented. I mean, Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide was really more campaign setting information than it was new player options. So what this book is new player options. There's some stuff for the Dungeon Master as well. I guess it says there's some tools to help them with their home games. But what it has is complete rules for, as it says here in the marketing blurb, complete rules for more than 20 new subclasses for 5th edition, including the Cavalier, the Inquisitive, the Horizon Walker, and more. It's got dozens of new feats and spells, and a system to give your character a randomized backstory. So that's pretty cool. And what this really looks like is the Unearthed Arcana playtest results. So for the last while now, Wizards of the Coast has been releasing information for playtests through their Unearthed Arcana articles, some of which even saw a secondary release with some updates. So I think what we're going to see is a lot of the subclasses from the Unearthed Arcana articles. I think the feats that we're going to see are probably going to be the ones that we saw there as well. So they're going to be feats that coincide with the different skills, as well as some of the racial feats, and probably a few other ones that are just, you know, more generalized. But I think we're going to see those skill feats and racial feats in there as well. So this is one that I'm really looking forward to. It releases November 21st, $49.95 US and $65.95 Canadian. Now, what I really love about this is the cover. Oh, if I can get it to work here. Sorry, every once in a while the computer just kind of, the last update that I had for Firefox has caused it to kind of freeze up a little bit. But anyway, that notwithstanding, this is the cover. It's got the Beholder Xanathar on there, which is awesome. Beholders are my favorite monster. I guess he's got his pet fish there. But just a really, really cool looking beholder. Love the design. And like Volo's Guide to Monsters, this book is going to have a special hobby shop edition of the cover, which is probably going to be very limited release. And here it is here. So you see it's got like the fish from the bowl, a couple of them there, and the eyes surrounding it. And I'm going to be honest, I loved the alternate cover for Volo's Guide to Monsters. I just couldn't find it. You know, any place that had it was sold out by the time I even realized that it came out. I don't like this cover. I don't. I don't like the art style. I want the beholder on there because it's my favorite monster. I just think that this cover looks ugly, and I'm sorry. If anybody's really excited for it, that's great. If you want to get it, that's fine. I want the actual beholder though. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is this cover here, and to have finally some new options. So that said, I want to talk about there is also another product that's being released, but it's not advertised here as of yet. And let me just see if I can find if they have the board games here, because there is going to be a Tomb of Annihilation board game as well, which they don't have listed. They do have Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, which is like Betrayal at House on the Hill. I don't have that. I don't know much about that, so I can't really talk too much about this. But they did announce a board game as well for Tomb of Annihilation, but I don't see anything for it, so I don't know when it's going to come out. So just keep that in mind as well. The board game, I think, is going to be either similar to Assault of the Giants or the cooperative board games. There's going to be like a special edition which has painted miniatures, or the standard edition which just has the molded plastic ones that are just a base color. I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm going to hopefully try to get that, but anyway, that's the big announcements there. So while this is really cool and really awesome and a lot of great stuff coming out, I'm a little bit concerned about September. And the reason I'm concerned about September is three things being released all at once is a little bit busy. And I understand the need to release the Tomb of Annihilation dice alongside the Tomb of Annihilation adventure. That's totally fine. I understand that. What I don't think is necessary is having the new DM screen come out on the same day as those other two products. This is something that could have easily been released in August. Or even if they wanted to hold off until October and release it alongside of the grid, that's fine. But this, just for me, it seems like there's no real valid reason to have this come out alongside of what's going to be, for me in Canada, a $65 book and a $26 set of dice. So if I can't find these at lower prices, like for example, I go through Chapters to get my books. If they're not going to be available for whatever reason, and I have to get these at a game shop, then the DM screen's going to wait. I'm not going to bother picking it up on release day, and you know, I may wait until October. I may wait until December for it. So I think that releasing that at the same time is kind of an unnecessary thing, and that they should have done it a month before, or even the month after, but not have it released at the same time as an expensive book and set of dice. Other than that, that's my only real complaint. I mean, you know, I'm interested in the new story. The level range doesn't really appeal to me. I would have liked higher level, but that's fine. I still think the adventure itself is really cool. We finally have one of the supplement books that people have been waiting for, with new class options, and probably something, I mean, with 20 plus different subclasses. There should be something for all of the individual player's handbook classes in there, so that's really cool. The dice are fine. You know, I don't mind the fact that they're in a collector's tin. I would have rather them be more generic just for 5th edition, so that Wizards of the Coast would just continue to be able to produce them, you know, over the course of the next couple of years. With this being specific to an actual storyline, something tells me that they're only going to be readily available until around this time next year, when they announce their next big story. I mean, they're going to have an adventure book come out in probably April of next year, like they usually do. But I don't think the next big story is going to take place until the fall of next year. So maybe they'll make a new set of dice for that, which I guess would be fine as well. So I'm still looking forward to them. But again, I would have liked just a set of 5th edition dice. that wasn't necessarily connected to a particular story. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of my feelings on the announced releases. I'm looking forward to everything, honestly, even the DM screen. I know I kind of complained about it, but it was more the timing than anything else. Alright, so with that said, as much as I am looking forward to everything that's been announced, what did you guys think of the actual Stream of Annihilation event? I'm going to be honest, I missed a lot of it. You know, the 12 hours, Friday and Saturday, I think Saturday and Sunday may have been better. Especially Sunday because I wasn't doing anything on Sunday. But I missed a whole bunch of it, and I really found that for the most part, as much as I enjoyed like the interviews and you know, the product reveals that I was able to catch, I wasn't really thrilled with the content or quality of the adventures being run. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that most of them were only given an hour and a half. To actually go through. And I think a lot of these groups, I mean, I understand that most of these people that were on the Stream of Annihilation were like Twitch personalities that do stuff. I mean, I'm not big into Twitch. I don't watch like Twitch live streams or stuff like that. So I don't know any of these people. One of the adventures that I wanted to see kind of the most was the adventure being run by Satine Phoenix, who she took over for Matt Mercer doing like the GM tips on Geek and Sundry. So prior to that, I had seen her on Hit It With My Axe, and I got to be honest, I wasn't overly impressed with the game that she ran. I don't want to say that that's an indication of how she is as a DM overall, because again, you're given a very limited amount of time. But the adventure that she ran for like the first 5 minutes, or more actually, I don't even know how long it was, but the first part of the video turned me off to the point where I just couldn't watch it anymore. And it basically involved the player characters bickering with one another over, you know, the storyline up to that point. And it just, you know, there were a lot of really kind of rough accents. I just couldn't get into it, I'm sorry. And again, I don't know if that necessarily indicates, you know, her abilities as a DM, because I mean, I'm not the world's best DM, and I would never even pretend to be. But I wasn't impressed with what I saw, and I just couldn't watch the adventure, and especially when it ended up being like a 2 DM kind of thing. It just, for me, I lost kind of all interest in that. And I felt like that was kind of the way for a lot of these adventures, because again, I just don't know any of these people. I may have been more interested if I was actively following these people on Twitch, I guess, but I just wasn't interested overall. I think that they probably could have fitted in all into, you know, 1 day, or if they did the 2 days, I think I would have been happier seeing, you know, fewer game sessions being run if they were given more time. You know, I would have liked 3-hour sessions for the most part, you know, to kind of be able to tell a little bit of a story. Some of these look like they were just, you know, a single encounter. So I don't know. I'd like to go back and actually sit down and watch all the individual adventures. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But the one that I that I was the most interested in, I couldn't sit through it for more than 10 minutes. So I apologize for that if you guys were interested. But let me know what you guys thought. You know, did you like the adventures? Would you rather see longer sessions? Do you think that maybe Friday and Saturday were kind of the wrong choices? You know, would it have been better if it was Saturday and Sunday? Were you happy with the way it was? Let me know, because I'm, you know, interested in your opinions. Anyway, thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch this. Let me know what you think of the releases, what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, and again, let me know what you thought about the Stream of Annihilation overall. Anyway, again, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.